In this video, I want to share with you exactly what to mentally prepare for when going into a launch and what you need to know and be aware of and manage from an emotional standpoint when launching. I think this video is so needed and so overdue. And just today, I got a message on Instagram that reminded me about wanting to put this out there and share this insight with my audience. So basically, I got a message on Instagram from one of my Funnels and Ads Pro members, and she shared with me her launch results and how it was from an emotional perspective for her. And she also had a question around that. And in this video, I want to answer that question, which I think is a really, really important one. I've never vocalized the answer in this way. And I want to use that as an opportunity to really walk you through everything you need to know from a mindset, emotional, mental preparation standpoint for your launch. And I also want to let you know where to launch in your growth journey. So I kind of want to help you with the roadmap, with the 50K months from low ticket roadmap that is included in the Coach Growth Hub. And of course, all my Funnels and Ads Pro and coaching membership method members have access to. I want to kind of use the roadmap to show you where to put it on your journey. So I want to start with answering my member's question and then kind of reverse engineer it, because the really interesting thing is she had a successful launch. So she converted almost 10% of the people in her launch into buyers. Her goal was to sell 10 of her flagship courses, and she sold 12 on the first go by using the launch week planner and following that to a T. So it's actually really a success, right? But, and this is the emotional thing that she went through, she said what really left her feeling sucked dry and frustrated was that, as I recommend in the launch, she was not holding anything back. She was putting out all the posts and all that value. She was answering all the questions. But there were people in there that would really take everything and that were so engaged, and she was almost certain that they would buy, and then they ended up not buying. And she was really confused about that experience, because yes, she reached her goal, but she was so sure that these people would buy too. And that's an experience that I have made in all of my launches, and I kind of understand the feeling, because I had similar feelings after my first launch until I realized what is going on from an energy perspective there. So what I want you to mentally prepare for in a launch, right? Because right now you would think, I have a successful launch, I should feel like successful and excited. I reached my goal, I pushed through with this, I worked so hard, but somehow I feel like that was not a fair transaction. So, because to some of the people I gave so much and there was nothing in return, right? It's almost like people, they don't want to create these outstandingly valuable freebies and lead magnets, because they are like, well, I don't only want to attract the freebie seekers and give away all my knowledge for free to people that will never buy. So what I want to set straight in here is that there is value in this and what I recommend focusing on. So I need you, when you launch, I need you to be mentally prepared for the fact that the most active people in your launch won't necessarily be the people that buy. It's always like, it's again and again and again like that. The active people, they can be divided in two groups. The ones that will never buy, never, and the ones that just need a little bit more time to buy, or a little bit more time with you to buy, right? So let's first focus on the second category, the people that will eventually turn into your customers sooner or later. It could be that they didn't buy your course right now because right now it's not a good situation for them from a financial standpoint, from a time perspective, something that's going on inside of them, right? So that's the first thing that could happen. The timing is just not right. Or they need a little bit more time with you. There's not enough connection and trust built yet, or there is not enough value delivered yet for them, for reciprocity to kick in and saying, you know what, I actually really want to give back to this person. I got so much out of that. I'm having a clear path now. I want to do this program. I want to go all in with the person, right? So, and that is fair. It's just like with relationships. Some people, they're really happy to continue dating after the first date and talk about kids very soon and go all in. And some people just need more time to figure out if that is what they need right now and what they want to move forward right now. So again, it's more in their sphere than in yours. Or what also very often is the case is that was amazing and people found it tremendously valuable, but it just wasn't the right offer for them, right? So maybe right now you launched your flagship and now you're preparing your mini membership and main membership. Maybe that's the right offer for them, right? Maybe that's how they want to have their problem solved. Because let's not forget the fact that different containers, even if they offer similar solutions, attract different people. What I mean by that is a container is a course or a membership or a group coaching program or a one-to-one coaching package. And all of those could solve the same problem, right? But different people need different containers at different points in their life. So what do I mean by that? I am personally at this point in my life where I love self-study things, right? Because I can listen to them when I walk with my dog Finn, and I can listen to them in the gym, and I can listen to them in the evening when I fall asleep. I don't have enough flexibility in my schedule right now to fully benefit from a group coaching program, right? And I know that about myself. So a course or a membership is a container that is much more attractive for me right now. But in the beginning of my journey, I had a lot of time but no clue what I was doing. A container like a solid group coaching program where I have a lot of hand holding and a lot of calls that I can attend. Like one of the programs I bought was Facebook Ads That Convert by Kat Howell. Now it's Digital Distillery. She sold that. And there was a lot of live calls and support calls and a very engaged community. And it was like a full group coaching program at that time. That's exactly what I needed at that time, right? And if Kat would have sold a self-study course back then, I would have not bought it. Although I loved the person, I loved the value that she shared, I fully loved the solutions she provided, it would have not been the right container for me, and I would have looked for a different solution. So keep that in mind, right? It could also be the offer and the container, and that it's just not the right fit for the person at that time. It's, again, not about you. It's all about your client, and it's not something to take personally, right? It's not rejecting you, your soul, your hard work. It's not rejecting you serving and all the value you provide. It just might not be a good fit right now. It's not personal. It's not in your sphere. You did everything right, because if you wouldn't have done everything right, you also would not have seen 10% conversion rate, right? And the other sales. It just was not for them at this point. Well, now let's talk about the other people that will never buy, because I know that is such a mind F for a lot of coaches. They're like, those freebie seekers, they drive me crazy, right? They love and like and engage with everything I put out, but they never buy. But let me tell you this. That is also in itself valuable and giving something back. Even if these people never buy from you, the fact that they are in your community and that they drive engagement and that they ask the questions that the people that eventually end up buying don't dare asking or don't care asking, that is valuable in itself. By doing that, they are giving you something back. They make your launch more engaged, which elevates you as the person delivering the launch. They ask questions that others have, which gives you a stage to answer those questions. That is giving you something that is truly valuable and that accelerates your selling potential. So what they do for you is they don't give you money, but they give you something different back. They give you engagement, momentum, community. And that in itself is valuable, and it's something to appreciate and to honor and to be grateful for. So this is how, by just shifting my perspective on this, that allowed me to show up completely differently in a launch, right? So that is, from the back side, what I wanted to share with the lovely person that shared her launch results with me today. This is the mindset shift. Plus, don't forget, every launch is just a preparation for your next one. But before I go into, how to think about launches in general, besides, who buys and who doesn't buy, I just quickly want to share with you when this is relevant on your journey. So we have the 50K growth roadmap. This is in the Coach Growth Hub. I now placed it at the very top because I think that every member in my world, every paying client massively benefits by just listening through, those are all resources and those are all videos. If you just listen through all of this once, you will have a much clearer picture of where to benefit from what of the things that I provide. And I'm sorry that I'm giving so many things, but I also think that what most programs do is they deliver you a quick win, which is what quite a few of the people in the program then can benefit from, right? So this is why we have average success rates of programs that are around 5%. And these are the people that have already a lot of things in place. And then you just fill in the gaps, and this is why they get so amazing results so fast. But this is also why so many people in a program are left behind and left feeling like, oh my God, why am I not as good as the others? Why is it working for everyone but not for me? It's because coaches want to simplify to get people results faster, but it will only work for a few people that have all the bricks in place, right? So I think whether you're somebody that already has a lot of bricks in place or you're somebody that feels a little bit lost on the journey, it is highly beneficial to get your foundation straight and to fill in all the gaps, right? So what I aim to do in my programs is not to give you fractions of a bridge that will allow you to make money and turn this into a business that becomes increasingly passive, right? Where you can serve people at scale. I want to give you all the bricks, right? So that also people that are missing more bricks can benefit from it. And I think understanding how I've grown my business to 50K months from low ticket will serve everyone no matter where they are. Because even if you are maybe even making 50K months because you're selling a higher ticket, all of those things will also help you to massively benefit in setting up systems that are very automatable, right, and very scalable and that fuel your backend. And this is why the roadmap really brings it all together. This is like the full-on overview of the ecosystem. And once you've understood that, you know how to better cherry pick from my programs, or you know what is the best approach for you to go through all of them. With that being said, the roadmap is laid out like this. First, I have the transparency that gives you insight on my journey. Then we talk about mindset, and this is really the foundation. I think that if you're plateauing right now, or if you can't move further, usually it's something in the mindset that just needs to be set straight. And this is condensed everything I experienced and needed to shift and change to really get to this point of massive momentum in my business. Then we talk about product development, because the lenses I see the world through is productizing my knowledge so I can sell it on scale and help people on scale, which is why coaching and knowledge transfer happens through developing products that solve in-demand problems. So this is my perspective on it. And that can be divided into doing market research and developing problem intelligence. So what are the problems I need to solve? And then developing transformation and solution intelligence. Well, how do I need to talk about how I solve those problems, and how do I need to solve those problems to get people results? Then we need an audience to offer our solutions to, right? And we attract the audience with a strategic freebie. We do one-to-one work to finance our growth and to deepen our solution and problem intelligence. But then we develop two kinds of offers. One is a money-making offer, a back-end offer. That can be a membership, that can be a group coaching program, it can be a one-to-one coaching package, or it can be a flagship course. But we have one key money-making offer that is fueled by all our audience growing offers. The strategic freebie is the first one, but then we also work with tripwire and self-liquidating offers to speed up our audience growth while getting paid to grow our audience to sell more of our money-making offers. And that ultimately also in reverse helps us to grow organically, but that is an afterthought because we want the momentum and we want the fast feedback loops that advertising and measuring our progress with KPIs gives us, so that we can then also align our organic efforts and actually need to produce less but more aligned things so that we can leverage our paid efforts, and ultimately also scale our brand to become less dependent on paid traffic sources. This is the whole overview in a nutshell, right? And where launching comes in is for people as early as 1 month into my program, where we actually launch the first version of your main money-making offer. So how I've laid it out, and all of this is in the Coach Growth Hub, but it's very detailed and step-by-step again in Funnels and Ads Pro. There it's just with more step-by-step templates. So how I recommend growing your audience is using a strategic lead magnet, Facebook lead generation campaign to grow your email list and a Facebook group at the same time. And you launch after 1 month of putting out pre-launch content and nurturing in that group following this launch week planner, right? So this is where it comes in. And people have pulled this off. If you look at the case studies like Laura or Norland, people have pulled this off. Or Brooklyn is one of the latest success stories. Jessa is someone that did it exactly like that. Julia is someone who did it exactly like that. People do it as early as 1 month in the program if they fully focus only on, okay, mapping out the backend offer, reverse engineering the strategic freebie from that, setting up the ads, launching the group, putting out the pre-launch content, preparing the launch content, going through the launch, and then, basically repeating that cycle and turning things evergreen. So people do that as early as 1 month into the program. Typically, if you need more time, if you're maybe working still a job, you will probably need like a month to go through everything and prepare your group launch and your ads. Then you have the month of nurturing, and then at the beginning or at the end of the second month, you can go into launching, right? It's a more realistic timeline if you also work a 9 to 5, right? So this is as early as a month people do this, but most people don't have the time to just binge watch everything and then going straight into the month, so they can probably need 2 or 3 months to get to the point of launching. So when you are at this point, and some people thread that so much that they keep working here. They keep working around here because they dread the launch so much. And this is why I want to brace you and I want to prepare you, because I know that this is a huge block and people kind of holding back and not putting themselves out there with the launch or with ads because they're scared of what happens. This is why I want to, in today's video, do this overdue launch mindset checklist. So have a sip of coffee and then I'm diving in. Okay. When you are at a point where you launch, right, all your efforts lead up to this. Mapping out your main money-making offer, reverse engineering your freebie from that, putting out the nurturing content, announcing your launch, everything should lead into that. But this is not a matter of this is a success or it's not a success. If you have I actually recently put out a video on my YouTube channel around the concept of neediness and needing something to happen in a certain way. Please check out this video and then free yourself from this thought. Like, put it in the trash bin. This is self-sabotage. It's not helping you, okay? Because all we do in the launch is we learn, we get data, we gather data, and we optimize. Failure truly does not exist. The only failure is not doing it. The only failure is buying another shiny object and distracting yourself because you want to avoid doing this, okay? Every launch is just a preparation for the next launch. We only fail if we don't properly analyze the data and give up too early. That's the only way we can fail. If we don't try, if we don't analyze the data properly, or if we give up too early. So get clear on your purpose, vision, and goals. Then focus on doing the right things consistently rather than on the outcome. Strong work ethics and strong work ethics and outcome independence will make you reach your goals a lot faster, right? So I always thought about the launch not in a sense of my goal is that so many people buy. My goal is to deliver a great launch. My goal is to really acquire the skill of launching. So here's what I tell myself. I don't care about how many people would join my program at this launch. And I truly, genuinely don't. I only care about learning the skill of launching, creating and refining a repeatable system that works for me, right? And that will ultimately allow me to successfully introduce new products and create revenue spikes for my business whenever I want, right? So since I know how to launch, I feel so relieved because I know for a fact if I need to make 20, 30, probably even 50K in the next month, I know where to find it. I know exactly what to do, right? On top of what I'm doing right now, because I also have my evergreen systems that fuel me. But if I need an income spike in my life, whatever happens, I know how to generate it because I've taught myself how to launch, because I exposed myself to the roughness of the reality of launching. And now I know I can pull it off because I know that I can go in and I will not focus on the outcome. I will just be there, deliver the best version of myself and show what's inside of what I have to offer. And the rest will take care of itself. I also know that 40% of people that buy at a launch participated in the last launch and didn't buy. So that's also key, right? 40% of people that buy were in your last launch and they didn't buy yet. That's something that I touched on base in the beginning. I understand that launching is also a powerful audience building activity and it creates growth, momentum, and connection. Every launch, so I know that my lovely membership run ads. There were quite a few of new people coming into her world and they experienced her now in her launch, giving it her all, answering all the questions, giving bonuses, not holding anything back, right? They know now her name now. They recognize her now. They follow her on Instagram now. They probably also subscribe. Or I know because they signed up to a launch using our lead gen method, I know they're on her email list right now. Well, what happens on the next flash door opening, right? So it's also a really powerful audience building tool. It's more than just the sales that come in right now. We're building for the future. Think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. That's something that's actually a key sentence. Yesterday I learned from my coach. I work with an Enneagram coach right now around a few things. I learned that there are parachute sentences. So when things don't go our way, we should ask ourselves, like we should have a parachute sentence that grounds us. And one of the sentence that I came up with yesterday for specific scenarios was what is the emotion that I want to avoid feeling? So that was really powerful for me. But this is a parachute sentence that I've been using for me a long time now. And I think I heard it once in a motivational YouTube video and it just stuck with me. Think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. Because when your effort is low, you are probably thinking about the obstacle and not about the opportunity. And this is so true. Think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. You're thinking about all the things that go wrong. You're thinking about all the work that this is. You're thinking about how exhausted you already are, but you're not thinking about the opportunity. Think about what happens if you nail this. Think about what happens if you just show up consistently in one direction for a year or 2 years like I did. Think about the opportunity and not about the obstacle, and watch your energy flowing back into your body. That's like flipping a switch on your energy levels. The energy is there. It's just blocked up in you thinking about worst case scenarios and not best case scenarios. So remember that what if sentences can also end with a best case scenario, and they don't have to end with a worst case scenario. Put yourself out there authentically and fiercely to create your own opportunities. You're in charge, right? It's in your hand. You have the power. Isn't that beautiful? Remember, it's not personal. If people don't buy on your launch, it's either because of your offer not being clear or desirable enough, your messaging not being aligned, the launch content not being valuable enough, or offering too much implementational information, too little reach, or because you weren't able to spark a real connection. Those are typically the things, right, that we can change on our end. But as I said in the beginning, or towards the beginning, there are many things that we can't influence. Those are the things that we can't influence. All of these areas can be analyzed and they can be improved. Dysfunctions in your launching system say nothing about you as a person. You are worthy and you are lovable no matter what. And if you keep refining your system, you will eventually get there. One key takeaway, also like a somewhat new learning, was that what I see happening again and again in launches that don't convert as well is that people are not giving enough context. So, when creating transformation, we need to cover the what we do, why we do it, and how we do it. And typically in a launch that fails, the why we do it was missing, right? So very clear in the launch, we need to be very clear of what we do. And typically the why, the context is not there enough. We need to give people enough context to understand what we do it and why we're doing it a certain way, right? So think about, am I giving my people enough context, everything they need to know, so that the what we do it and how we do it will make sense? That is the typical pitfall that I see. It's a pattern that I see emerging. Then I want you to do the math, right? On a live launch, you have an average conversion rate of 3 to 15%. My member had 10% for a first launch. That is really, really good. Like, I'm really so freaking proud of her. Because for the first launch, if you have 10% conversion rate, can you imagine she doing this for the second time? Plus, also, it's really good now. She has created all the materials for the second time. She has her checklists for the second time. The mental burden and the creative burden on her for the next time is now it's like a 10%. She just needs to plug it in and she needs to show up. But she knows what questions to expect. She knows how to show up. She knows it converts. She already has the pre-recorded, because the way I recommend doing launches is with some pre-recorded videos and then just jumping on live. So she can literally repurpose that for the second launch, which is why I love to call it launch in a box. But she knows the ad that converts now. So for her next launch, she just, updates the date and she flips the switch on her ad and her ads are on. She has her email sequences written. She knows exactly what post to put out there. So the effort on the next launch is like 5 or 10% of what she did right now. But she knows her conversion rate, right? So now she can say, this time I actually just spent very little on the ads, right? I think I would need to look up what she spent, but I think she spent below 100 euros, right? So this time I spent like very little on the ads. But knowing my conversion rate, right, I can do a worst case scenario and I can say, okay, I have half my conversion rate. Well, how much can I spend to make how much? So now she has those numbers that she can use for her next launch, and she can say, okay, I want to make 10K. That means if I have a worst case conversion rate of 5%, how many people do I need to have in my launch? Okay, this means I need to spend, and my cost per lead was around €1. This means I need to spend so much money on the ads to reach my goal, right? So that's beautiful because now she's not shooting in the dark anymore. So yeah, and that is really, really beautiful. So I want to give you an example from my launch. By the way, my launch converted worse than hers. I just want to point that out. For example, based on my last live launch, I know my conversion rate is 7.5%. I know I can improve my system further, but I still want to use that as my worst case number, right? So if my goal is to get 50 new members for Funnels and Ads Pro, I need to have around 667 people in my live launch. So I know my cost per lead for the live launch, my cost per lead is higher. I have a more expensive audience. So I know my cost would be around $2,000 to fill up my launch. And then I can acquire 50 members for $49 a month. So then I would already break even on my launch. So then I know that my members on an average stay 10 months in my membership. But 1 month is already paid, right? So 50 people pay $49 for 9 months. So then there would be $22,000 of cash flow back into my business over the course of the next 9 months. So this is how I would do the math for my next launch. Basically, if I assume the conversion rate on my last launch is my worst case conversion rate, this is how many people I can get in, right? And guess what? If I want 100 members and if I want the number to be 50,000 that flow back into my business over the course of the next 1 month, well, then I need to spend $4,000 to get the people in, right? So this is, you can really do the math on that. So, and that is the last thing, to be mentally prepared for people not to join, and again, not take it personally in any sense. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. I think this video was really, really overdue, and I would love to hear your thoughts and questions around it. I hope it was helpful. Bye for now.